Hello and welcome to Juno's Q&A session with Mumbler. My name is Dr. Shruti Javaher-Ganatra. I'm a consultant paediatrician, GP and clinical lead for Juno. For those of you who've not yet heard of Juno, it's a mobile-based app dedicated to sleep-deprived parents everywhere. No matter what your concern, query or worry is, our team of highly skilled paediatricians are ready and waiting to use their expertise to advise, guide and reassure you. Think of it as a paediatrician in your pocket when you need it the most. Over the next few videos, I'm going to be answering questions from the Mumbler community. Many of these are common queries parents have. And at Juno, we understand that any potential health concern about your child can be extremely anxiety-provoking. We want to let you know that we are here. If you want to chat to a paediatrician, download our app now. The first question we have is with regards to eating habits. My son won't eat a huge variety of meat or some carbohydrates such as pasta or rice. He is 4. How do I encourage him to eat these food sources? It's completely natural as a parent to worry about whether your child's getting enough of the right food. Fussy eating is extremely common in this age group. As long as your child is active, gaining weight, and appears well, it's likely that they're getting enough of the right food. So the question then arises, how can you encourage them to get a variety of the right food? As frustrating as it is, if they don't want to eat a certain food, take it away without fuss. Some studies have shown that you need to offer a food at least 10 times before children accept it. The second tip would be try to make meal times as fun as an experience as possible. He's more likely to eat foods that are colourful, cut into exciting shapes or animals, and it's really key to avoid using food as a reward or disciplinary system. Next, we have a question about rashes. My 9-year-old daughter is suffering terribly with molluscum and has done for around 5 months. Is there anything that can be done to stop the spread? That is an excellent question. Molluscum contagiosum is a really common condition we see in children, where you get small, warty, pearl-like bumps on the skin. It's caused by a virus, and although not serious, there is lots that you can do to reduce the risk of spreading it. First of all, you should avoid sharing towels, clothes, soft toys, and even bath waters with others in your household. Secondly, avoid skin-to-skin contact. It can be helpful to cover the area that's affected with clothing if this is possible. And finally, scratching can increase the risk of spreading, so keep nails short and try to discourage it. Often we see lots of different types of rashes in children. If you're not sure what to do, why not send a photo through the app and we'll be more than happy to give you advice about what to do next. The next question we have is with regards to medication. If you've just given your baby Calpol and they've immediately been sick, can or should you give them another dose? I'm sure many of you have found yourselves in this situation. And actually the answer is simple. The safest thing to do is not to give the dose again. This is because it's difficult to know how much of the medication remains in the stomach and how much of that will be absorbed. There may, however, be alternative solutions, and this depends on your individual circumstances. If you find yourself in this scenario, why not contact one of our paediatricians on Juno and we'll be able to advise you further. The next question is with regards to vaccinations. Would you advise vaccinating your child against chickenpox? This is another really interesting question. Many might say that although a safe and effective vaccination for chickenpox exists, and has done for many years, it's still not part of the UK vaccination programme. Why? Well, actually there are many reasons for this. It could increase the risk of chickenpox in adults, and in this age group, it's a far more severe condition with more complications. It could also increase the number of adults who go on to develop shingles. But what does this mean for your child? Well, actually, very careful consideration is needed depending on your own circumstances. If your child is likely to come into contact with somebody who's vulnerable, has a dampened immune system, for example, is on chemotherapy, then actually your child is eligible for a free chickenpox vaccination under the NHS. It is, of course, also available privately. So it's important to remember when weighing up your decisions. Although chickenpox is not a pleasant illness, it's short-lived and generally uncomplicated. And having the vaccine doesn't necessarily mean that your child won't get it. It does, however, mean that if they do, it's likely to be milder with a much quicker recovery. Sometimes these answers aren't that straightforward. So if this is a dilemma that you've been debating, why not get in touch with our team at Juno, who can advise and guide you through this decision-making process?